On today's show, we are talking wellness with Dr. John Hatch from Brain Rehab Clinic, and we got this guy who's filling in for Trip Mitchell. All this and more coming at you right here, right now on Talk365TV. Here we go. Welcome to the show. I am Holly Love, and as I said just a second ago, this is the amazing Mr. Todd Summers. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me aboard.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I so appreciate it. So Mr. Trip Mitchell is a world traveler and newly married happy guy who just doesn't have time for me, which is awesome. We're so happy for him.
Yeah, congratulations, Trip.
He's been honeymooning. I'm not even really sure where he is right now. I know he's sort of had a couple weeks in between where he was getting a bunch of meetings in, and he said his record was 6 shoots in one day.
Wow.
Or something. So he's a busy dude, and I really appreciate you.
Well,
you were top of the list.
Yeah,
he's like, get that
you.
Todd Summers
really?
in there.
He said that, or
he
you
did.
just,
No,
you're
he
not just
did.
making that up?
No, and he gets a little.
Sylvia.
Silves loves the Todd too.
Oh, thanks, Sil. Appreciate that.
Okay, so beyond our talking movies, because we love our talking movies segments, we've hosted a few shows back in the day.
Yep.
But what I wanted to talk about today on the show, because we are embarking on the oh-so-lovely holiday season, if it's not snowing right now as we speak.
Right.
And there are a lot of traditions.
That
happen. And I was trying to think, I don't think we ever talked about this on our other show, because we did a lot more talking movies and in our segment. So this will be a fun opportunity to, get inside the head of Mr. Todd Summers.
Oh, that's scary.
No, it's fun. I'm totally stoked on it. So I was thinking about the holidays and what is there that you have to have happen to feel like it's the holidays? Because everyone says, oh, it's the holiday. What is it in your world that says, is it Christmas tree going to the lights, or is there an event or a thing?
For me and my family, it's always been, what kind of kicks it in for me is music.
Ooh.
And I'll tell you what it is. I have to hear the song from Charlie Brown Christmas. And I don't know the name of the song. Yeah, that one. I hear that song and I am back in my childhood, wrapping presents, looking through the Montgomery Ward catalog to find what toy I want this year.
Because there was no Amazon.
Right, no Amazons back then.
I had that too. I had the Sears catalog down in Manti.
Yeah.
We had no Amazon.
Yeah. As soon as I hear that song, I'm there. Yeah, exactly. Love that song.
I love that song too. Oh, it is fun. Oh my goodness, look at my Scrooge heart swelling as we speak. So can I grab that and then I'll double down?
Okay.
So in my house, my mom had a record player, even though CDs were around, obviously, but she played all of these records from Elvis, Blue Christmas, to the Tijuana Brass Band, to Perry Como, to Johnny Mathis.
Oh, yeah.
So all of those were always records, and for me, it was the sound in the records, which I didn't know until I went and bought all the CDs. And then when I couldn't hear the cracks or the boom, where there was a scratch in the record, I was so bummed. And so anyway, my thing with Christmas though, beyond the records, would be there's a certain taste combination that needs to be in my mouth at any holiday, or it's not a holiday.
Cinnamon?
Nope. It needs to be, it needs to be turkey.
Oh.
Cranberries, preferably nor best the smoked turkey. Smoked turkey, some cranberry sauce, stuffing with cranberry sauce. I want cheesy potatoes, and I also want the green bean supreme. Maybe not all in one, but you can sort of make a perfect bite out of it.
So that sounds
the every home and holiday, that's the meal.
It sounds like Thanksgiving.
But it's every holiday. It's also Easter. It's also Christmas.
It's
also New Year's. It's also every time the family got together, or Marlene liked one of the boys we were dating, because then all of a sudden she threw down and it was a holiday, because we were actually dating someone seriously, and she became a woman I didn't know who cooked really good food. Just kidding, awesome. Mom. I love you tons and tons. Yeah. Okay, so coming up next, we are going to be talking events that are happening right now, holiday time, and our recommendations for what you should be thinking about doing this time of year. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this.
We are the dreamers.
We changed the world.
because we don't give up.
IU can help you live your dream.
IU is an online college, so your campus is wherever you want it to be.
Take classes when you want to take classes.
You receive the tools you need at no extra cost.
Even a brand new laptop and tablet to use in school.
Call IU, then tell them your dream.
Call 1-800-613-8965. That's 1-800-613-8965.
Talk365TV is proud to present our News You Can Use segment.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Talk365TV. I am Holly Love, and this is Mr. Todd Summers filling in for Trip Mitchell.
Thanks. I hope Trip's having fun.
I bet he's having a blast.
You know he is.
You can't not have fun when you are his age. You have established your life, you've found someone that you really love and care about, and you've decided to grow old, and he's having the party life, man.
Yeah, good luck, Trip.
The best time of life right now. But anywho, okay, well, if you're just joining us, we are talking holiday season. We just chatted about the things that make the holidays, and now we are going to jump into a little event news you can use and tell you the events that make the holidays for us, and we recommend if you haven't done it, you should try it. So let's start with you.
It's back to music. Every year, for the past 32 years, I guess, this is the 32nd annual Christmas Carol Sing-Along at the Vivint Center. Put on by the Larry H. Miller family.
And it's free.
And it's free to the public. It doesn't cost you anything. It's December 12th this year. I think it starts at 7 p.m. And it's wonderful holiday music put on by symphonies and different groups from locally. And then they do this classic sing-alongs with some of the great songs that we all love from Christmas and holidays. So
I love it.
Yeah, and it's right downtown, and the lights are right there. It's just, it puts you in the mood.
Yeah.
In the spirit of Christmas.
Absolutely. And definitely the lights. I was, going back and forth as far as what makes Christmas Christmas. That definitely sets things off.
Yeah.
When the lights are downtown and the decorations are out, and, you walk around freezing with a flask. That's Christmas.
And what's in your flask, Holly?
Well, Kentucky Straight Bourbon. You got to have something to warm you from the inside for the most part. I know. What's in yours? Coke?
Diet Dr. Pepper?
I might have that too sometimes. You never know. It's not as tasty warm, though.
Right.
No.
Actually...
Oh, no.
You can. People do drink warm Dr. Pepper.
Weird.
Yeah, I know.
We'll have to try it, though.
I don't like it. I like it cold.
It sounds horrible.
Sylvia's got this funny look on her face.
Well, because that sounds terrible. But, okay, well, my whole life has been spent doing ballet and performing in the Nutcracker from the time I was about 10 years old. So how could I not say that it is Christmas time without the Nutcracker? If I am not hearing Waltz of the Flowers or dancing in it, I don't know how to think what time of year it is.
Right.
It would be insane
it
for it not
you.
to happen. It does. It just goes into high gear. So, in fact, I was thinking back to into my mid-20s, from 10 into my mid-20s. I was performing with either Utah Regional Ballet, and then when I was at the U, we always had Christmas performances. So it was always a time that I was very stressed because it was either finals, performing, and working really, really hard. And I would often get like pneumonia and for my birthday. And I remember my mom just realizing, like telling me, this is when I realized you were like a different sort of bird. Because she'd be like, well, do you just want to take a year off? And I just would look at her and be like, are you kidding me? This is great. I loved it. But I have to say, at this point now in my life, I'm totally cool to just go see Ballet West Nutcracker and watch all of the fruits of their hard work and pneumonia labors and whatever it took to make that beautiful thing happen, which we heard Capitol Theater actually has had a big old remodel. Yeah. There's more leg room.
Oh, nice.
Apparently. So go enjoy the brand new Capitol Theater. Of course, go downtown. Hello, we love downtown. Yeah. You can head on over there, to the lights afterwards. Yeah. And the Ballet West is happening December 6th all the way through the 24th. So you could go to the Nutcracker on Christmas Eve, which I can't imagine anything more Christmassy.
That would really do it.
Yeah. Doesn't that sound fun?
That's a great idea.
I know, I love it. Okay, so now going straight into something that we normally throw to, which is our classic movie minute. Todd, I'm going to put you on the spot because we're going to have a live classic movie minute.
Oh, okay.
But what would you say during this time would be your classic movie minute?
So my favorite holiday movie that I watch every year, my boys watch it with me, is The Bishop's Wife with Cary Grant, David Nivens, Loretta Young, who was born in Ogden.
Ooh.
It's just a great, fun movie. Cary Grant plays an angel that comes back and has to complete a task before he can
get his wings.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Did this come out at the same time as It's a Wonderful Life?
Same year, yeah.
Interesting. I wonder if they rivaled each other a bit or something like that,
Yeah.
or just really great movies
Yeah.
that happened in 1947.
Yeah.
Right? Really cool. So you were saying that this is something you watch every single year?
Yeah, I make my boys watch it with me. They roll their eyes and try and fall asleep.
Oh, no.
And I just sit up and just,
In its glory.
Yeah.
I feel bad I haven't seen it.
You should watch it.
I do definitely need to watch it. Well, we have a family tradition where we always watch A Christmas Story on Thanksgiving, like right after dinner. That's when we have our whole family together. And then on like my mom's side and my immediate brothers and sisters. And then usually the week before Christmas at some point, It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
It's, I would say, along with The Food Taste in My Mouth, those two movies need to happen.
Right.
But now, as an adult, my own personal ones would be Santa Claus with Tim Allen. That was sort of my younger years. And now Elf. Because Elf plays in my head like all year round. I just like sort of pull it back and censor it and try not to be that person all the time, but
Yeah.
it's happening.
It's become a classic.
I let it out.
Yeah.
I go full Elf during this season.
Full
but
Elf?
I make myself hold back until December 1st because otherwise I love Happy. It would play nonstop. It would just be always on.
That's a good one.
I know. It's the best of all the West. I love it, love it. All right, well, Todd, thank you for the impromptu
Yeah, you bet.
Classic Movie Minute. If you want more of Todd's Classic Movie Minutes and more of our suggestions on what to watch, go to our YouTube channel or find us on Facebook and check out our segment that we do every month, which is Talking Movies and Todd's own Classic Movie Minutes, where he tells you all the great classics, everything about them, and if you have missed them, why you want to watch them. So check those out and then don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this.
This is important news for people who have taken Zantac or its generic ranitidine and then suffered from cancer. Zantac and generic ranitidine have been linked to cancers. Zantac and ranitidine contain NDMA, a known cancer-causing agent. If you or a loved one took Zantac or generic ranitidine and were then diagnosed with bladder cancer, kidney cancer, or any of these cancers, call Davis & Crump right now to see if you're eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Operators are standing by.
Talk365TV's Talking Wellness is brought to you by Brain Rehab Clinic.
Welcome back, everybody. I am Holly Love, and that is Mr. Todd Summers.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So I feel like we're doing a very special episode of Talk365TV today, and it is, as always.
Yeah.
But we are actually talking wellness with Dr. Hatch from Brain Rehab Clinic, and we are talking about his approach through functional neurology really helps alleviate the symptoms of anxiety and depression. So it's very interesting. As a functional neurologist, he's looking at your brain, he's looking at the way your eyes work, he's giving you exercises, different treatments like the gyrostem. But in the spirit of mental health awareness and suicide prevention, the holidays pose a time when everybody should be happy.
Right.
And a lot of times that makes you even more sad.
You put pressure on yourself to be happy.
Exactly.
It kind of bums you out.
I don't think it necessarily even has to be the whole time. I think that there are just times through the holidays that like hit you.
Right.
You know, like maybe that's when, you know, someone that was close to you passed away, or a relationship ended, or something shifted in your life. So where traditions have to change because we're all changing and maturing and getting older and all the different things that happen along the way, you can't have this sense of nostalgia and tradition without a sense of sad.
Right.
But it's when that sadness gets overwhelming and gets to a place where you can't come back from it, and maybe you're someone who has taken medication, you've had a lot of treatment, you've been working with therapists, and those things aren't working for you, and you're feeling like you're at the end of your rope. This is where Dr. Hatch's online training is amazing, because you can actually go on his website, you can learn all about his approach to alleviating the symptoms of anxiety and depression through what he does at Brain Rehab Clinic and why it's so powerful. And it helps people that are, really truly at the end of their rope come back, who didn't believe there was anything else left and having no hope, and you can learn all about that. And we get a chance to break down some of the information in this TV interview, but in the meantime, check this out and then go log on and get the online training.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Talk365TV's Talking Wellness is brought to you by Brain Rehab Clinic with wellness team expert Dr. John Hatch.
Hey everybody, welcome to another Talking Wellness. Today I am back with our wellness team expert, Dr. John Hatch, here at the Brain Rehab Clinic. One of my favorite places to come. How are you?
Thank you, so good. So good to be here.
Good. So I'm really excited about today because I always love talking functional neurology with you, and one thing that you have become an expert by default
Expert by
is
default.
treating anxiety and depression. So today we're going to talk about the science behind how you treat anxiety and depression here at the clinic. But before we get into that too much, I want to chat about being the expert in your field and why you say it's by default.
Well, when I first started working as a chiropractic neurologist, I treated a lot of concussions, head traumas, and most of their number one finding that was associated with head trauma was irritability, uneasiness. The parents noticed a change in behavior after the child suffered a head trauma. Okay. Prior to the head trauma, there was no behavioral problems. Kid was excellent in school, kid was happy, social, and then all of a sudden everything shifted. And they never understood why. And they had been to therapists, they had done their work, and so by default I realized that a lot of those dealing with emotional imbalances and irritability is coming from a neurological background. And so that's why I work heavily with a lot of therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, all of those counselors, family, marriage relationships. People don't realize that a lot of their affective head traumas and other types of neurological imbalances cause more of a reaction than even the emotional side.
So it's not necessarily a chemical imbalance in the brain, it's a functional imbalance with the brain.
And it's just a huge part of it. What I always want to do is, how well is your foundation? If we're taking a medication to change something, if we're speaking about going through our past experience, PTSD, whatever it may be, the question is, how good is your foundation? And I'm talking about the foundation of the brain. The true brain, its brainstem, how it all integrates, specifically with emotional, it's a game changer.
Wow. So let's talk about why the body reacts the way it does to the brain imbalance. Like, why is it that you have symptoms of depression or symptoms of anxiety, and how are they different?
So the biggest thing that I realized in my research and understanding how brain function is the difference between the anxiety and depression comes highly with its involvement in the brainstem. Your brain's first law of nature is survive. So a brain, if a bear comes through that door, you're gonna go into a stress response faster than anything. It's the difference of why one kid's allergic to a bee and another kid's not allergic to a bee. A bee flies in or is on its cup and one's trying to flick it and the other one is panically running out the door. That reflex comes from a neural integration in your brain via sound, via vision, and it instantly relates and correlates with your heart rate. So it boosts the heart rate, all of that autonomic we talk about system.
You cannot control that.
You can't control it. It's reflexive. And so the question is your system already at a higher threshold than normal, which is creating more anxiousness than you should be dealing with?
Yeah. For people who are looking for an alternative to what is out there for you, which is just, medication that makes you sleepy or whatever it may be, what you do here is so different. So talk about how you found the treatment and why it's working so well, because people quickly see results.
Absolutely. And again, I don't treat the anxiety. I don't treat the depression. I don't look at their medications. I don't alter anything. I don't touch that world. My profession is to look at what is working and what is not working, specifically in the brain.
Which is a whole other thing if you're on medication or you've been on medication for a long time and it's not working. Coming here, it's not like you're going to tell them throw it in the garbage or you won't treat them. You will have enhancement because when your brain is functioning, everything else works. So if you've mentioned this before, if you've been suffering with something longer than a few months and you're not seeing a result from whatever program you're doing, whether it be weight loss, whether it be a medication for depression or anxiety or whatever, and it's not working the way it should, get in here, because you will be able to see immediately through your testings if there's something wrong with the brain or it's not.
Yeah, and most of the anxious patients that do come into the clinic, their findings aren't the same. And so no two experiences are the same, and that's what frustrates people, because we like a cookie cutter program. We like, this works for all. I'm never claiming that. I know that I just have to find what's not working and get it to work correctly. And it's simple by activating the brain and how the brain connects appropriately. We had a patient in just last week, severe anxiety, and this individual patient, in the dark, went massively cross-eyed. So that brain, when your eyes come together, it activates the midbrain, which is your fight or flight part of the brain. So this poor girl is in a constant state of stress, and it has nothing to do with the psychological outside world. Though therapy and everything has worked to help, it hasn't jumped her to the next level because they're missing a key component that they didn't even see. Because when you look at them, they look completely normal.
So for me, with the anxiety that I was experiencing at such a heightened level was due to the brain injury. And so learning that it can be because of an injury that you just recently had or one that you had when you were a kid and it went untreated. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, a lot of times these get untreated. You can see an ocular breakdown in a head trauma up to 40 years because the brain can't heal itself. The brain repairs, otherwise we never get old, we never get crepitous and change. The brain repairs itself with what it has, and sometimes those head traumas, even 40 years later, are still going on. And I think the biggest thing is people don't always know if they do have anxiety. Is it due to an emotional thing? Is it due to a neurological thing? My always big question is, when that car jumps out in front of you or that dog, and your heart rate boosts and that fight or flight goes, how quickly can you calm right back down and be you? If you sustain that for X amount of minutes, sometimes hours, that's the person in the middle of the night that gets startled and then their heart rate's going and they're sitting there for an hour. That's a neurological thing, not necessarily an emotional thing, because it was a true neurological reflex coming out of a sleep to be startled.
Well, and I think because there is so much wonderful stuff out there for self-help can be really hard on people who are suffering with anxiety and depression, because you should just be able to wake up and choose to be happy, right? That famous thing. And it's, if you have a brain problem, you can't override it. If you are in the best therapy in the world, you cannot override what is happening with the dysfunction in the brain.
And a perfect example is, as we spoke earlier, with that lady that had her eyes pinned together in a convergent spasm that wasn't seen. We can't will ourselves to uncross those eyes when we didn't ever know they were crossed.
Yeah, and just like with the tactile response too, if you've hit the back of your head ever, how your balance will be off, and if your balance and your center of gravity is off, your body is in a constant state of nervous, which then ups the ante when you are in a situation of stress. Then you're just twice as stressed as what would be considered normal, right?
And then those dealing with like more depression, we know it's frontal lobe, we know it's dopamine driven. So the more your eyes move in a given day, especially post-head trauma, a lot of the eyes aren't stable. They'll complain of blurry vision. They'll say, I have brain fog. And these little movements in the eyes is using up that frontal energy and frontal integrity. And then they start to see decline in depression and drive, because their brain is neurologically tired on top of whatever else is going on.
Chemically or otherwise.
There's always other components. My question is how is that foundation? When that foundation is solid, the other things work. I've had multiple patients on medications for years that never worked. We got their brain aligned, and that medication did exactly what it was supposed to do. And the person is living life, so to speak, depression-free, because she's using the correct medication with a brain that actually works.
Which, again, going back to the fact that you are not a doctor who would diagnose or treat anxiety or depression, but because you go about treating the brain itself, and the diagnostic testing that you do allows you to see exactly what's happening, you are able to help these people get relief from the symptoms of depression and anxiety. Not that you're saying you can cure it, but it's amazing how quickly they see relief. And I know it's a 3 to 6 month program, but people within a week can see their life, the lights come on, the sun comes out.
And usually within a month, because of what we had spoken many times before about neuroplasticity. In order to change the brain, we got to be consistent. And if we can make those connections correctly, and it builds on that, then that stress that gets thrown at you, your brain handles it, absorbs it, deals with it, and moves on. And then when you go talk to your therapist, or you meet with your psychiatrist or your counselor, and you talk through those emotions, now your brain's not in that constant fight or flight, so it's able to process the emotions appropriately the way your brain's intended to do it.
If you're interested in this information and you want more, log on to brainrehabclinic.com. Dr. Hatch and I had an in-depth discussion about the science behind how he treats anxiety and depression, to learn more and learn about what it is that you do.
This is a way to educate the general population on possibilities that they might look into. It doesn't necessarily have to be here with me. It could be any practitioner around the world, or looking for other avenues that might help them, or something they haven't tried because they never knew that this involvement of the brain was important to their care.
From a patient standpoint, I'd recommend that you get this webinar and take a peek at it, because you're going to save time and money in the long run, because when you actually do get to sit down with Dr. Hatch and go over your diagnostics, he can focus more on the personal, the very specific to your condition, your brain, what's happening, and answer all of those questions rather than doing the overview with you. So if you're interested in this webinar, just click on the education tab at brainrehabclinic.com or give them a call and set an appointment for a consultation, because you can always just get in here and get on the books, and you can know that you are going to be on your way to wellness and feeling better. That is for sure. Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited that we had this chance to chat again.
Thanks for coming.
I'm going to go get gyro stimmed, I think.
Okay.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Talk365TV right after this.
Talk365TV is proud to announce that Brain Rehab Clinic is the first clinic in Utah to have a gyro stim.
Wow, that was some great information.
Right?
Yeah.
Interesting approach.
It's very interesting. And you know, it's so important that that we create bigger, better awareness for these kind of things, because in the past people have just gone through life without really saying much about depression or anxiety.
Yeah.
And it's not cool to talk about it, but luckily these days it is.
I mean, I've been pretty open because I wouldn't know how else to be. But anxiety has been a beast of burden for me since I was a kid. I mean, I was little and I couldn't sleep and was waking up with panic attacks. And so, you know, when you find things that are able to treat it, you really want to share, and you really want to share your experience. And for me, I learned skills from certified hypnotherapy training school with Dennis Parker and Positive Mind Management Services. That was really powerful for me. But I had reached a point where I couldn't go any further using those skills because I didn't realize the damage that had happened with the concussion. And so then enter Dr. Hatch, and I mean, it's so lovely to go through life and to be in control and not, but I know what it's like to not be too. And one person who is really cool is Dan Reynolds from Imagine Dragons. He did The Believer. We've been big fans. We love the cause of that whole Love Loud movement that's happening here in Utah. And he did another big post about, I'm a person who struggles with depression and this is what I have to do to manage it. And, you know, it's like, on one hand, I think depressed people, you have this ability to tap into that angst and become an incredible artist. I was able to really tap into that and bring that realness to the table. But I think there is something cool about where I'm at now because I know how to go there, but I also know how to leave it.
Yeah.
So I think that's important.
And that's the key, is just learning how to leave it.
Yeah. It's okay to cry.
Yeah.
Sometimes I enjoy just a good solid cry.
And when I think about my love life, I really break up.
Oh, see, Todd is available, by the way. So all you lovely single ladies, if you're looking for a fun date, maybe to a free sing-along, here you go. Mr. Todd Summers, right here. He's the new Bachelor here at Talk365TV because Tripp is gone and married. He's off the market. See, we tend to marry him off here.
Oh, wow. Well,
yeah, I mean, you don't have to get married.
Yeah.
But, you know, something along those lines. Todd, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been so fun.
Yeah, I've
we'll do it again. It goes by really fast.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Well, check out our, of course, talking movies that we do on our YouTube channel, or you can find us on Facebook and link your way there, whichever one is easiest for you to find. We're at Talk365TV in both places. And we've got all of our movie minutes and more of Todd's classic movie minutes if you want to find some fun things to watch during the holidays. And in the meantime, have a wonderful day out there and enjoy the beautiful dark morning or the cold weather wherever you are.